It's time for, where you get wisdom. Now, in years past, you need to understand something. In years past, when men had problems and men couldn't find their way, they went to the oracle at Delphi. They would go and offer sacrifices and pray and get wisdom and guidance. In this day and age, there's no oracle at Delphi. The oracle lives here with us. And ladies and gentlemen, I introduce to you the oracle himself. Today, we will not be getting into a lot of the fanfare because we cannot. Just can't help it. It's amazing. It's wonderful. He's here in his glory, in his power, in his eminence. He's here to guide you. Now, if your fantasy league team is struggling, this is the man you need to listen to. If you have problems beating your friends in that head-to-head league, ladies and gentlemen, I prescribe this solution to you. You have met the right man. You have met the master himself. You have met the God. You've met the legend. You have met Daniel Cranton. He's the oracle. And it's wonderful. I love being in the presence of power. It's so much powerful. You can see he's in awe, and I am in awe of the oracle himself. Daniel, how are you doing?
Hi, Nathan.
You're good?
Very good. Great to be here.
It's nice. Every time you show up, it's a wonderful experience. It's a life-changing experience for me.
Yes, my presence follows. I'm glad you are feeling it. I'm glad you are taking it in.
It's great. It's great stuff. It's great stuff, Master. Let's get into the fantasy. Last week was a very odd week.
Yeah.
Things were supposed to happen. Things did not happen. But I take it as one of those things. This week, what's on the agenda?
6 players.
6 players. Okay. Who are they?
6 players. Mm-hmm. Aubameyang first.
Okay.
Taking on Spurs at home. Last season, he scored 2 goals and 1 assist in this reverse fixture. Mm-hmm. Expect him to do wonders again. Tottenham are all over the place. Arsenal themselves, last week, they showed their weaknesses, but it's a home game. And I mentioned he knows how to score Tottenham Hotspur. This is a game Arsenal will want to set things right. Mm-hmm. So expect Aubameyang to do some wonders. Second player is Haller, Sebastian Haller of West Ham. Struggled in the first 2 games, but last week he came to the party. 2 goals against Watford last season. Yeah. He's facing Norwich at home. Norwich have conceded 8 goals in 3 games, so they have a very weak defense. Okay. Expect Haller to be at the end of the action. Next player is Mason Mount, and he features at home against Sheffield United.
They say he's the better Mason between he and Greenwood.
Facts.
He actually built something.
Yeah.
Anyway.
2 goals and 1 assist in his last 3 games. 12 shots and 7 on target. And he's top ranked in terms of midfielders in fantasy football. He's ranked alongside Raheem Sterling in terms of shots. So he gets into those dangerous areas. And obviously, players who are in those areas are likely to give you the numbers. So Mason Mount, for 6.2 million, he's quite a cheap option. So he's somebody you can look at. Then Jamie Vardy, another player who started scoring last week. A very good goal against Sheffield.
Over the years, he's been a favorite of mine. But there are times when he really doesn't deliver.
Yes, I think that streak has started at home against Bournemouth. A team also that is struggling defensively, conceded 3 last time out. And obviously, Leicester City, the kind of football that they play under Brendan Rodgers at home against Bournemouth, you expect him to get into the party. Then the last 2 players, Manchester City players, is Raheem Sterling at home against Brighton.
Let's spend a bit more time on Raheem Sterling. You mentioned Man City face Brighton. How is it that he's hot? This season he's caught fire very early and he's making it happen.
Look, anytime you mention Raheem Sterling, you have to mention Pep Guardiola and the kind of player he's made Raheem Sterling into. He's all of a sudden become very comfortable in front of goal. He's getting into those dangerous positions. I mentioned 12 shots and 7 on target, joins with Mason Mount, the most shots from a midfielder. So he's getting into those positions and he's become more comfortable. That means he puts the ball in the back of the net more often. 5 goals in 3 games already. Okay. And at home against Brighton, a team that has changed their identity this season. They're a bit more attacking, a bit more flamboyant. So you expect spaces to be left at the back. And
but as they go to City, don't you think that they'll revert to default and say, okay, let's not?
The fact of the matter is that whoever wants to defend against Manchester City, whoever defends against Manchester City will still concede. at Etihad, you don't really expect Man City to go easy on them. And the last player is another Manchester City player, is Sergio Aguero. I will personally go for Sterling in terms of who our captain. Why? Because there's a high chance Manchester City can keep a clean sheet, and that gives you an extra point for a clean sheet, the extra point for a goal because he's a midfielder. Okay. So that makes more sense. These are small details that you also have to consider when you are going for both. But if you have both players, then that's a huge one for you. Okay. And that's about it. But honestly, if you follow these tips this week,
everything will be fine.
No, first of all, spell Oracle.
O-R-A-C-L-E.
How many players?
6.
How many letters has Oracle?
6.
Exactly.
So that's bang on.
Look.
1 for each.
If you follow these tips, your competitors in the fantasy league football,
what would they do? Eat dust.
They will rest in peace.
Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. 6 letters in the Oracle, 6 names chosen, 6 players to make your fantasy league shine, stand out, and let your opposition look at you in sheer shock and wonder. And they'll look at you with fear and trembling in their eyes and minds, and they'll have trepidation written all over their faces. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the Oracle, Daniel Cranton. That was the FPL Zone. This is the Premier League Preview Show. We'll be right back after this break.